Welcome, my children of the night, to Terror Tales of LA, the podcast. Your home for all things horror and all things Los Angeles. Welcome back to Terror Tales of LA. It's a comedy horror podcast we host here and talk about all things horror and Los Angeles. I'm your host, Quentin Ridings.
You look constipated.
Well, in the movie, he was most likely either hungover or getting drunk.
Your mouth was just so like angry, like you got poo poo stuck in you.
Yeah.
I'm your other host, Adri Diaz, where some may call us the Jackie Chan and Chris Tucker of horror comedy.
Yeah. We'll let you decide who's who.
The Penny and Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory
Of horror comedy.
And we're gonna let you decide who's who.
Mm-hmm.
Well, honestly, last episode we had mentioned, we're the Velma and Louise, not Velma and Louise. We
We could be the Velma and Louise. I like that mashup.
we are the Velma and Daphne of horror comedy from Scooby-Doo.
Yeah.
But you did something wrong. You did something so wrong that we lost 2.5 subscribers.
You know what? That's okay. Even Velma sometimes drops her glasses. No one's perfect. Even she stumbles around saying, I can't find my glasses.
Okay, you had a little Velma dropping the glasses moment because we talked about 28 years later and 28 days later.
Yeah.
And you said Cillian Murphy rather than Killian Murphy. But it's so funny because I knew it was Killian Murphy, but you said it so confidently that I started second guessing myself because I was like, well, he's the Velma. He's the Velma of the show. I'm just Daphne with my big perfect titties. And so I was like, okay, I'm just going to listen to what he has to say. And then realizing later, oh my God, the whole podcast we said his name was Cillian Murphy.
Yeah, and I felt like he was, he's a silly man.
No.
Yep.
Just literally own up to it that you said his name wrong.
Apologies to my Irish brother, Killian. Our families go way back. And I apologize for the error. Happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
And I hope he's happy too.
He's happy now that he's heard that. Mm-hmm. He's listening.
It got to him.
Okay, good. So we did something a little different this time. Mm-hmm. Nothing too crazy. We did something a little different. I watched Jaws 1975 for the very first time.
Yeah, I mean, and it's super cool because it got to time out perfectly. We're releasing on the 4th. That is a major plot point in the movie. Mm-hmm. The town's talking about celebrating a 50th anniversary, and we are as well.
Yeah, it's the 50th anniversary of Jaws coming out. Mm-hmm. It's 4th of July. If you're listening to this, it's 4th of July today. Happy 4th of July, I guess, if you're even celebrating. Go eat a hot dog and be depressed somewhere,
Yeah, go to Costco. Support them.
Costco's not open on 4th of July.
I mean, they're a good company. They're probably not.
No, they're probably not. But, yeah, listen to this pod, hate on America, eat a hot dog.
Yep.
And let's talk about Jaws.
Yeah,
I had never seen it because what I had mentioned before, I had never watched Jaws when I was younger because I was so scared that every time I would sit on a toilet, a shark would come up and eat my ass. Mm-hmm. And not in a sexual way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've talked about this before.
Uh-huh.
It'd be a light snack.
Because my butt don't got a bunch of caca?
You'd just piss off You'd piss off Bruce the shark.
Because there wasn't a bunch of butt meat
There wasn't enough. Then it's just swimming around all pissed off.
I was very scared. I would make my mom come to the bathroom with me. My poor mother.
Scared of the butt sharks of Visalia?
Well, I don't know. Any water would scare me. And I'd be like, that hole, a shark could come out. Mm-hmm. And you come get me. But I never saw the movie, and I watched it for the first time on Peacock. If you're looking to watch it today for 4th of July, it is on Peacock. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere else.
Yeah.
Probably.
I mean, I think it's like on a couple of those weird Tubi or like Tubi ripoff kind of
Yeah.
sites with like ads, which actually I think are cool.
Right.
In the sense like, yeah, let people like get access to a library they normally wouldn't, because everything's like so streamer, like big streamer focused, that they like started like taking things out of other people's libraries, which I don't like.
Sure.
Like Netflix, you could watch a ton of stuff. Now you just like have to watch Netflix originals, and that
Okay,
sucks.
you got a little Sheldon there for a minute.
Well, I'm mad about it. Sheldon's pissed about this like idea that like the joy and like the selling point of streaming was accessibility, and now it's just like worse cable.
Okay. What's your relationship to Jaws? When did you first see it? Do you remember?
I think I saw it when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Or like maybe like early teen, probably like around like probably late elementary school or potentially like middle school.
Okay. And how'd you feel?
It was good. I mean, I never was afraid of the ocean, so it didn't really bother me in that regard. It was just like a fun movie. I mean, the part I do remember like the most was Robert Shaw's like death scene, though. That did stick with me as as a being the age where I maybe hadn't seen too much like on-screen violence. I was like, oh wow, yeah, like I remember that, like the idea of like spitting up blood.
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Right. And then how'd you feel now rewatching it as an adult?
I know it's like there's definitely some like horror elements to it, and they're like really well done. Like I get why people freaked out about the water, but I forgot that John Williams score. Like he's always like such a like a hitter. When he comes into any film, like he knocks it out of the park. How much more like adventurous and more like that kind of like whimsical, bigger than life thing that Steven Spielberg does so well.
And
like,
this was Steven Spielberg's second movie, technically, but like his first blockbuster hit.
Like it defined like the summer blockbuster, like
right?
Because I believe it beat Star Wars by a year.
Wow. Okay, yeah, and it's so interesting because when I watched it on Peacock, Steven Spielberg did like a little opening message right before the movie started for the 50th anniversary, and it was so funny because I could clearly tell he was reading off like a teleprompter. I'm like, bro, it's your fucking life. You couldn't remember how this movie went 50 years ago. Like he like talked about how Bruce the mechanical shark wouldn't come out of his little robot cage.
Good malfunction because like the water temperature.
Is that why like in the first half of the movie you don't see the shark? It accidentally became like a suspenseful thriller.
It ended up working out in their favor, is like having to use the shark more sparingly.
Yeah.
Which actually no, because like yeah, and that's like the great lesson of like show don't tell.
Yeah.
Or no, I guess tell don't show in this case.
Yeah.
The implication of a monster is always like better than the monster itself. I feel like most of the time in horror, because your brain fills things in. And how often does the monster live up to your imagination?
No, never. But so, did they try playing it off like, oh, we like this is suspenseful, like you don't know what it's gonna be, and then at the end you find out it really is a shark? Like, was there like a moment in 1975 where they made it seem like it could be any kind of monster, or was it kind of like, oh, everyone always knew that it was a shark?
I don't believe so, because this was based on an existing book.
Right, and then it's called Jaws, and
yes.
The poster is literally a shark. So I don't really get that whole suspenseful aspect.
The suspense is like when and where.
Just like when you see it.
Or when and where the shark will strike. Because, you're following the camera, the POV. You don't know. Sometimes it's the POV of the shark. Sometimes it's the POV of like just like the movie itself.
Yeah.
I think that is what's playing with the suspense.
Okay.
Because you as the audience don't know. Am I watching the shark about to attack someone, or I'm just like watching like this interesting angle, like presumably like a diver, like with a camera, like just like showing us this like a better sense of like the scene.
Yeah.
And I verified Star Wars came out 2 years later, and that took over like the box office record. But this prior to that was it set the bar for like what we consider like summer blockbusters.
Right.
That's like the blueprint. Like from here on out, Hollywood has like been chasing ever since.
It does feel like a summer movie. I mean, because it's literally set in summer. It's set on this little island, where there's this fucking sheriff,
Roy Schneider.
Yeah. With his wife and his 2 sons.
They moved down from New York. He said he felt like New York. This was the era of like New York was dangerous and scary. And if he's like this cop, it's like I feel like I'm just like a drop in a bucket. I'm not making a difference. But here, in this little island where there's only a few hundred people, like I feel like I can do something. I can do something that matters. He's like, there hasn't been a murder in like 10 years or something along those lines.
Until
I mean,
until this big old shark comes.
Starts
chomping.
Again, this is something you haven't seen before. How did you feel after that opening scene? Because that's like very iconic, and it's scared people.
Yeah, maybe I'm a little desensitized because it was fine.
Okay. You be honest. Yeah.
It was fine. I mean, yeah, we see a bunch of damn hippies hanging out smoking weed on Tuesday night.
Yep.
Not having no damn job.
Yep.
Smoking weed. And then 2 little blondies decide to get horny in the water. They run off. And then they go into the ocean. She strips naked, but the guy is so drunk he passes out.
He passes out somehow before he gets to the water.
And you know what? Good thing she died, because she would have told all her friends after. This guy couldn't even boink me in the ocean.
He couldn't even get up on the water.
He couldn't even get up or get up.
Get it up in the water, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And the water's doing most of the work.
Literally.
The salt's lifting you up.
I know, poor girl. So she's over here butt naked in the ocean. Then we see the angles. Pretty banging bod. I'll say that.
Mm-hmm. Those things were thangin'.
Kind of a butterface, but you know.
It's like a 70s face.
A very 70s face.
They loved the sun back then.
Yeah, and smoking.
That you smoked all the time, and you were supposed to like burn yourself every summer to like be tan.
Yeah, no, literally, I wouldn't doubt if like she was supposed to play like an 18-year-old, but she truly looked like she was 47.
Yeah.
You know, those titties though look like at least like a 23-year-old titties.
Yeah. Gravity had not taken effect yet.
But you know what had taken effect? When she got her ass fucking. What's that thing we say all the time?
Shit rocked.
She got her shit rocked in that water.
That shark was, like, I don't know, it was like dragging her back and forth.
Well, I was gonna say that was kind of funny because I mean, typically a shark would just pull someone underwater.
Or like they kind of death roll, like they just kind of roll them over.
Right, but it was just funny to see her ass get like
back and forth.
Ah!
And she grabs onto that little water buoy in the water and then gets.
Yeah, and that was fun, but I was just like, okay, was this?
I felt bad for her. She said it hurts.
Yeah, that would hurt, but not her. It didn't hurt enough for the shark just to completely bite down. He had to really throw her around.
He's nibbling.
He was.
Well, that's the shark's first kill. It's like getting a taste.
How do you
for
know
things.
it was his first kill?
The first kill of humans in the water around that time. That's what they're saying. Like, because sharks don't normally eat people. Like, they don't develop taste. That's what you're more likely to get struck by like lightning or hit by a car. So like, it's very rare when sharks are like man eaters.
Okay, but how rare is it if a shark comes through the toilet and eats your ass?
Pretty common, actually.
See?
Happens all the time in Central California.
I'm not crazy.
Yeah.
That is such a funny, irrational kid fear.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was dead. Like, I was just like, Mom, stand next to me while I take a little kid shit. Mm-hmm. Because if this shark grabs me, you got to grab me.
Yeah, you got. I'm not going out like that woman in the water. The shark's not dragging me across the toilet bowl.
Yeah, it was okay. And then I love a good storytelling. I think nowadays people really try to be like elaborate with storytelling, which is fine. But sometimes I like a straightforward like character development. Like we learn right off the bat, the mayor don't give a fuck about his city. He just wants money because 4th of July, it's like their biggest time of year. It's like their Christmas there.
They're a tourist island that basically depends on the money they make during the summer to like get them through the rest of the year.
Right. And so I'm like, perfect, boom, I know exactly what he wants.
Does feel very real. Like even now I totally believe a small town that relies on like a festival of people showing up to it would willingly roll the dice to put people in harm's way if it affects the bottom line.
When I was watching it, I really had to ask myself and be like, damn, would I be that mayor? I think I would be that mayor.
You'd be the mayor. You'd be like, yeah, what's the shark's not coming back.
I would just be like, no one go too deep in the water.
Yeah, just as long as you can still like see the shore, it should be fine.
I don't know. I really did ask myself, and I really was astonished by my own thought, where I was just like, yeah, I get what the mayor's doing.
Yeah.
I'm a little evil.
It's hard being in the mayor.
It's hard being the mayor.
Everyone's looking to you to make these decisions.
Oh my God. And he has to wear those cute little suits. How's he going to afford it?
It's the summer. He's stuck in these suits.
He's stuck in these cute little summer suits.
Mm-hmm.
How's he going to afford it if he doesn't make money on 4th of July?
This new sheriff from New York City comes around, telling me how to do stuff.
You know, it's so funny. I was watching it and I was like, oh my God, that's the guy from Scary Movie 2. Like the priest. Do you remember the opening scene in Scary Movie 2 where the 2 priests come in?
One's Andy Richter.
And then the other one, I was like, oh, how funny. And then I realized, oh, wait, no, it's not him. I was like, but wouldn't that be so funny? Because I was like, oh, that's the same. Halfway through the movie, I was like,
oh that would have been great.
The scene where the priest is on the toilet and it's like the Amityville horror, the flies. And he's just, it looked like he was getting dragged through
that shark
the toilet with the shark.
That poor shark was having to fight through a lot.
No.
It was fighting its way up the toilet, but it wasn't getting through.
Yeah, so I realized that was not true. And then we find out that this girl had died. Mm-hmm. She had a very blue little arm.
Well, yeah, the crabs have been at it. They bring in Richard Dreyfuss' character. He's like works for the oceanography. He's interesting because he's like an academic. He's a little soft. Like he even mentions like he comes from a rich family.
Yeah. And then there's that one weird pirate guy.
Robert Shaw.
Who
was like... They aged him up. It's so funny. Like I thought he was so old when I watched the movie when I was a kid, and I didn't find out till later. It's like, oh no, he was just a guy in his 40s that they like kind of made look a little older.
Yeah, and that was the accent you were doing on top of this podcast, right?
Yes.
Okay, just so people know, you weren't doing a Pirates of the Caribbean thing.
No, we'll save that. You best start believing in ghost stories, Miss Elizabeth. You're in one.
You best start believing in shark stories. Sheriff, you're
Chiefy.
in one.
I like to call him like Chiefy.
Chiefy, you're in one.
Because he's like, I guess, the chief of police.
Yeah.
That's right, Chiefy. I can't die. A shark can't eat me. I'm a ghost pirate. I like that. I like that little kind of balance. They all kind of bring a little something to the table.
Yeah. And then a little boy gets his shit rocked by the shark because they were like, oh, this was a shark attack by this hot girl with the butterface.
Yeah.
But then they were like, oh, but the mayor's like, no, we don't know for sure. Yeah, and then what do you
those
know?
beaches
Someone
stay
else
open.
dies. Yeah, and what do you know? Another little boy dies.
And that poor busted mom.
Quentin.
You know, it's too late for her to have a baby.
Quentin!
That kid's not getting replaced.
Did you notice that? And I'm like, is it just everyone in the 70s looked old as shit? But like, it was like all these like 50-year-old parents and they're like 8-year-old kids.
And you're gonna like, and then you like look it up. It's like, oh, she was 35.
I know, literally. Oh my God.
Yeah, that was the prime of her life. What are you talking about? It was all downhill from there. She slaps the sheriff.
I did like she knows that he knew, but he didn't say nothing because he's
and the mayor don't
pussy.
get no slap.
No, too busy buying a new little suit.
I know he's off. He's the one who should be getting slapped.
Well, you know, she's just angry, and he was there, and she trusted him maybe more.
He was the man. He was like he was a stronger male presence.
Can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I fell asleep during this movie. To be fair, I was severely hungover because I went out with my coworkers the night before because I kept postponing hanging out with one of my coworkers because she kept wanting to hang out. But I'm like, dude, I'm so busy. Everything wrong was happening in my life. Like my cats had fleas. I still have fleas. Sorry, Ben. I'm probably bringing fleas into your studio. And then I had all these auditions, these callbacks, all this bullshit. And then I tried so hard to stay awake, but I was a little bored.
You tell me what bored you a little bit.
Just all these old fucks. They're just all old with their fucking 2-year-olds.
Probably in their 40s.
Like, we didn't even see the shark until the very end.
We're building suspense.
And then it just, to me, it took too long to get there.
Let's you pitch me. I want Adri presents Jaws. How do we fix it? How do we improve the movie?
Okay, first of all, we're going to not see that man fall asleep on the beach. He's gonna go in that ocean.
He also gets in there.
And they're both making love.
Full penetration.
Full penetration.
Yeah,
not
not simulated.
Full penetration. And then she opens her eyes, and then she realizes she's making love to the shark.
It ate the guy.
It ate the guy and slipped in and replaced him. And she's making love to the shark.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. Then he eats her. Opening credit right there. Okay. First of all, that already made me more invested.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And then if the sheriff was actually the guy from Scary Movie 2. Yeah.
Who we don't know. Who don't know who this is.
And Andy Richter's there.
Andy Richter's there. Andy Richter's the mayor, obviously.
He's the mayor. That would be good.
I don't want to shut it down for the 4th of July.
It's just like okay, and then there was this scene where I did watch this and I did learn a fact that, the scene where the marine biologist guy is just like, "Oh, this isn't just some little shark that you guys caught. This is a bigger shark." And so they go scuba diving. They find like this old abandoned boat, and then he perfectly finds one big giant shark tooth.
Because it took a big old bite, took a big old chomp out the boat.
And I guess the tooth fell off, but still stayed on the boat.
Sharks famously have rows of teeth because they're always losing them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, then that makes a little more sense.
Yeah, like it's like. I wish we had that like level of like practicality. It's like, oh, you lose a tooth, fresh tooth pops in.
But I don't want to have my teeth just fall out easily. How embarrassing would that be? That's like every nightmare I have.
But if everyone's doing it, you're not. There's nothing to be ashamed of. We're all just losing our teeth constantly. We're part shark.
Imagine.
We'd save so much money on going to the dentist.
If it's just another tooth.
If there's another tooth that shows up, who cares then? You get a cavity, pop it right out.
My stepdad does have a missing tooth, and my mom swears that he's cheating on her. And I'm like, Mom, look at the signs. Girl, look up. Your man doesn't even have a tooth. You think he's really cheating on you?
Yeah, he's part shark.
Oh, Keith is part shark.
Yeah. He's just popping them out. Like little chiclets.
Okay, and then there was like a jump scare where there was like a scary dead face that popped in the water.
Do you like that?
It was okay. It was scary. It was scary. But the fun fact that I learned that apparently the reason why that scene was so dark was because they felt like they were missing a scene, and so they filmed it later, and it was actually one of the producers' pools.
Oh, that does explain the way the look of the water. Yeah. I totally does. That does just look like someone's pool at night.
Yeah. That's literally what it was.
Yeah, I like that.
I guess I'm the new Sheldon here.
Yeah,
young Sheldon.
And I'm Penny.
And you're Penny.
Yeah,
So you better learn to get street smart now.
I'm street smart.
You better learn now.
No more giving my wallet to the wallet inspector. I know.
I'm the wallet inspector.
Yeah, I know better now.
You do be losing money with me.
Yeah. You're like, I'll give it back later.
Yeah. Okay. And so then there's that dinner scene, and I'm kind of like,
that's how our characters getting to know each other.
Okay.
We're building the world.
Okay.
We're building the relationships that it's important.
Sure. Yeah. And then I just feel like maybe the scene where they voyage out to find the shark is a little sooner. It took like a good hour to get there.
Well, we had to...
Maybe there should have been more deaths to me in the beginning.
You wanted a higher body count sooner.
Maybe a higher body count and more shark lovemaking.
Yeah. That's the thing that's really missing from the movie is that we didn't see that shark fuck once.
No.
And we know Bruce is horny.
Bruce. Bruce is the name of the shark, the mechanical shark that they named him.
Yeah.
And then a big reason why, we mentioned earlier, it wouldn't come out of his little robot tank. And so that's why it really...
It's the 70s. It's probably hard to work a mechanical shark. It does... I think it looks good, though.
Looks pretty good. I will give it that. The shark did look good. Mm-hmm. So I was dozing off, but I was trying so hard to stay open. I was, really trying. Your eyes twitching.
It was a boy movie.
Maybe I think it might be a boy movie.
A little more boy movie, because I'm thinking, they're drunk on the water, just showing each other scars, telling stories, that kind of thing.
That was a little...
It's a little...
It was a little...
It came out in June.
Happy Pride.
What happens on the water stays on the water.
Yep. They didn't want no cameras there.
Get over here, Chiefy. Give us a kiss.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very cute, beautiful moment. The acting was really great, how they were all bonding and stuff. But a thing I was talking about Steven Spielberg, a lot of his movies and why people do like them is because there is this nostalgic aspect of like a boy's experience of like what it feels like to be a boy growing up, and
Adventure stories are usually almost always their audience are young men.
And there was not enough girls, in my opinion. And I thought at least, okay, maybe they'll make the shark a girl. But was the shark a girl? No.
No.
No, unless it's a butch shark that goes by Bruce.
Could be.
No. I thought, oh, at least the shark's a girl. And you were like, well, you can't have 3 guys beating up a girl
Beating
shark.
up on a girl shark. Yeah, I'm picturing like, it was like if there was like a little inner monologue and it's like voiced by like a young Rosie O'Donnell.
Quinn J. Writings.
What?
I know exactly why you chose Rosie O'Donnell to say that.
Yeah. She was probably a young butch comedian. Just getting started on the stand-up circuit.
In the 70s?
Yeah.
Shut up. Yeah. The shark has lines.
Yeah. It's like as it's swimming, it's like, huh. Go for a little snack, huh? A little chomp.
And so that's when I started dozing off whenever the scary pirate guy was like doing his monologue.
That's like I love that.
I know.
It's
Do you
so
mind
good.
elaborating on the monologues? I don't know what it is.
Okay, that's why they
Because when men be talking, I'm just like tune them out.
No, she just wants to look them up and down, just take them in. That man candy. That's why they age him up. I think because if this was in the 70s, World War II ended about 30 years ago at that point, and you wanted the Robert Shaw character to be old enough to have been in like the Pacific Theater, like serving in the Navy.
Yeah. Okay. So the monologue was about him being in the Navy.
Because he was talking about like getting there. His ship was actually part of the transportation line that eventually got the atom bomb to the whatever island they then flew the planes from.
Got it.
But their
okay, tell me about the monologue. What does he say in the monologue?
He's talking about how like their ship crashed or got damaged and sunk.
Okay.
And how they lost their radio and they basically said we're going out and we're not checking in until we get to this point. So everyone just assumed that they're just taking their time. There's nothing to worry about. So all these men are stuck in the water for like 3 or 4 days, and nothing happens at first. But then sharks start coming to investigate to see if there's any food, and
investigate.
Like they're like seeing if there's any food around, like anything like to they're
detectives.
They're forming a little like group. They're like, let's see if this is good. Chomp, no good. All right, we'll move along.
Okay.
And so these men are bunched together like little rafts or like makeshift things, and then maybe one shark takes a little nibble, and like that was pretty good. And then the other sharks start catching on because sharks can smell blood in the water for miles.
This was his whole monologue.
Yeah, this is exactly.
I'm like bored. I'm gonna fall asleep again.
Well, it's also like dealing with like the horror of like you're stuck in a situation you can't get out of, and even when you're trying, he was talking about kicking and punching to keep the sharks away. That only works for so long. Eventually, they just like work themselves into like a feeding frenzy, and there's nothing you can do, and you just have to like hear the screams of your like men you served with like night after night after night.
Okay, so that's why he was all gun ho about like I'm gonna kill this.
Yeah,
shark.
he's getting his revenge, kind of like this was his Captain Ahab moment, like kind of like to tie it into like Moby Dick.
Okay.
Because he has that kind of like he doesn't overtly say I am on a quest for vengeance.
And Moby Dick is a boy whale.
Yep.
We can't have nothing, can we? No girl shark. No
girl whale. What happened to body positivity?
That don't even make any sense what you just said.
It does.
Okay, so that's what his monologue was.
Yes, talking about the horror of losing most of his compatriots to sharks, and that's kind of why how he is the way he is.
Okay.
And that bored you.
Chill.
You're on TikTok.
No, I was asleep.
Yeah.
I was in my REM cycle.
Yeah, if you could like just get that in like a 30-second clip.
And then when I did wake up, it was in the midst of the action.
Mm-hmm.
We see the shark for the first time.
Mm-hmm. When he's like
and I'm like, finally.
He's doing a little. He's like tossing at Roy
doing
Schneider's.
the chump.
tossing out the chum.
Chum, not the chump.
Tossing out the chump. Yeah, they brought around like one chump.
Yeah.
To throw in the water.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, he's throwing out the chum, which is illegal now, right?
I don't know. Why would it be illegal?
I don't know. I heard that once. That chumming's illegal.
Oh,
Let me look it up.
Sheldon. Sorry, I don't know enough commercial fishing laws off the top of my head.
Is chumming illegal?
Hanging out with your boys should not be illegal. That's why I think of chumming.
No, chumming
big
is
nod
not
from Ben.
universally illegal, but it is regulated in many locations.
Probably because they probably can draw too many sharks.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And could potentially hurt. Because when sharks go into a feeding frenzy, they start biting, they start chomping. So they even chomp each other. And we can't be having that.
Yeah. So they're chumming it up.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, he comes.
Mm-hmm. They come. It could be a non-binary shark. We don't know.
We don't. In the 70s, we're not a very
we
progressive time.
We had a hard time articulating things back then.
Maybe that's why the shark was pissed.
It was pissed because it was being misgendered the entire movie.
Maybe it was a girl shark.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone assumed
it was a boy, and she got pissed.
Yeah, you can elaborate more because I really was just not into it.
The score didn't speak to you at all. You didn't feel like a young boy, excited for the adventures on the high seas.
Well, I've heard that.
No, not that. So that's the one the song that the shark's about to attack. No, the song when they're doing the stuff with the barrels and they're trying to force the shark to stay up the water.
No, I don't remember how it goes. Yo ho, yo ho, a pirate's life for me. I don't remember.
All right.
I don't remember. I was snoozing. Play it a little bit.
You don't have to love it.
I was snoozing. I don't know. The thing is, and it wasn't for the podcast, but I did recently watch Jurassic Park for the first time because I had never seen it because, again, I was scared as a kid. I was scared that a dinosaur was going to come through the toilet and get me. I like Jurassic Park better than Jaws. Put it to the microphone. Why are you having me listen? That literally sounds like I'm on the Pirates of the Caribbean ride.
But also, okay, so yes, this movie predates the Pirates of the Caribbean by 25 years, though.
Caribbean. Okay.
Who would clear this up? Sebastian.
From The Little Mermaid?
Mm-hmm.
Don't do the voice.
Don't
do the voice.
What would he sound like?
You know damn well what he would sound like.
Come on.
Oh my god.
I think he would take my side personally.
Okay, sure, whatever. They put a bomb in the shark's mouth. That shark, I guess, doesn't have lips and can't spit out.
Yeah.
I felt bad for that. I had to give my cats a pill for their fleas.
That's it.
Because if they take the pill, all the fleas would die off them. And I literally had to have them dry swallow it like that because I mixed it in their cat food and they wouldn't.
They would just eat around it.
They just they literally spit it out. And so I had to grab them by the back of the neck and then pop it. And they really looked like Bruce taking that bomb. Yeah. They were just poor things.
You didn't feel a little hype when he's smile, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I felt nice.
Nothing. You felt nothing.
No, I felt a little.
Okay, you only ever pitched on the opening movie. Then let's clean up the third act.
We need more chicks.
So we needed on the boat. Do we need a bigger boat, like he says? Would you like a bigger boat?
No, I think the little boat makes it scarier.
Would you want it to be instead of Quintina?
Yeah.
The salty she devil.
Yes, and maybe a little bit more about the female experience.
Yeah, we should have centered it a little more.
Yeah. No, I mean all the action was good, but I'm not a big action.
Yeah, sadly, Jaws does not pass the Bechdel test.
What does that mean?
It's two female characters talking about something other than a man.
It did not.
Nope.
Not even close.
Yeah,
There's like no two females in one scene.
And if they are, they're talking about that shark.
Yes.
And that's a man.
And that's a man shark. Because we found out it's not a girl shark.
Yeah.
All the action was fun. The moment he accidentally knocked over the bomb earlier in the movie, I was like, okay, that's how they're going to kill it.
When he freaks out and says it's highly pressurized.
I was like, oh, that's how the shark's going to get got.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I didn't like seeing that shark blow up like that. I felt bad for the shark.
That may be a pretty instantaneous bit of death, though. You know, fast and painless. Getting your head exploded.
I'm like, poor thing.
He just chomped poor Quint in half. I have a kinship with him because we have similar names. It's like him. It's like watching myself get chomped in half, and I didn't like that.
Let me hear an impression of him getting chomped.
Don't be chomping on me.
Yeah.
You can take me leg. I would like a peg leg, but not that, Chiefy.
Okay, got it. And then how come that nerd was just like scuba diving the whole time?
Well, he was trying to like hit him with like some shark poison. Oh, because they ran out of like bullets and harpoons. And
I thought
stuff.
he died, so I was like, where is everything? I snoozed on that part, and I was like, oh, I guess that little nerd died, and then he popped up at the end.
His little cage got wrecked, and so he was able to kind of swim down and get away from it.
Maybe we should do this podcast again when I like actually watch it with my eyes open.
Like we could do like an addendum, a part 2. I think we could also we should try to get the shark on to tell its side of the story.
Maybe we need the shark. We could watch the other Jaws movies, which I heard were not as good.
and then have the shark come on and give its point of view.
Because I didn't understand. No, I understood what was happening in the movie, but I didn't understand why everyone was all like, "This is the best movie ever."
We'll go with more random facts maybe that will appeal to you. Have you ever heard of looping, or any of like your improv friends ever booked a job as a looper?
Like what Kyle does when he goes boop 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 boop. boop
It's kind of like similar to ADR.
Kyle's my DJ friend.
It's kind of like ADR.
Okay.
It's like the background noise of people kind of talking and murmuring, but like it's actual. They're saying actual things. They're not going whatever people say in theater. Mm-hmm. The humble mugger or something kind of thing.
Okay.
Loopers are like actually pretty well paid because it's a SAG job, and they bring them in like to like fill out crowd noise. Mm-hmm. And Steven Spielberg actually got an improv troupe for this one, and kind of like helped popularize the concept of like using like real performers who like know what they're doing, are seasoned, and really good improv to like fill out all those crowd scenes.
Right.
And I thought that was cool, and then it helped kind of kickstart this industry, which is actually pretty sought after because it's a high-paying job. It's almost always working, and people don't tend to like give up. They like once you're in looping, they just let you just do it till you can't do it anymore.
Wait, I want to be a looper.
Well, you gotta find you gotta find your way in. I mean, because you are an improviser, and it's hard to make money as an improviser. It ain't easy.
You don't make any fucking money as an improviser
unless you teach it.
That's true. Okay, that's a cool fact. That does make me like it a little bit more.
It could have been you in the crowd going, "Hey."
That's not how I sound.
I mean, you'd be putting on a character. Well, it's like that one guy because he's like, "Well, that's not the thing. That's a tiger shark." And that one fisherman goes, "Oh, what?"
I did notice that there was some funny ad libs.
Because it felt real to me, but it's like, they know what they're doing.
Okay, hit me with another fact.
Robert Shaw was frequently drunk on set.
Oh.
And there was actually tension between him and Richard Dreyfuss. They didn't say they hated each other, but he's like, I thought he was like a perfect gentleman when he was sober, but when he got one drink, he was an ornery son of a bitch.
Oh my God, I literally have a coworker who gets drunk all the time, and he's so fucking annoying.
Actually, Roy Scheider, actually, so they both didn't like him. The two,
okay.
They didn't like him because he was like, and he died actually pretty young. He was like a really good, like, he wasn't even American. He was like either Irish or... Like,
that was the main guy, or that was...
The captain.
The captain.
He was a non-American.
Yeah.
And he was like he was a hard drinker, and so he like died like around like 50 something.
Poor guy.
That was a tough one to go. Oh, I do like this. Here's a fun one. I think it is more interesting. Steven Spielberg said when he first read the novel, he was rooting for the shark because the human characters were unlikable. And it's funny, my dad mentioned something because like he read the book as well. The sheriff was having an affair in the book, and they just don't ever talk about it. he was a dirty dog. It's like, how you have an affair of like there's not that many people on the island.
There's like 10 people on the island.
When they all
and your wife's a babe.
Yeah. Was he having it with that dog of a woman who lost her child?
Quentin, do not call a woman a dog of a woman. You were so evil.
A little bit.
You are the most evil straight man I've ever met in my whole life.
I know. I do have that like wicked gay man energy.
I think that monster under the bed was right about you.
Well, except for my love of the puss.
Your mom listens to this podcast. You need to behave yourself, or you're not going to get any more acting classes.
Yeah, no more allowance.
You're going to get cut off.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Here's a fact for you.
All right.
You know how there's always like the popcorn buckets at for the movie theaters, and they're replaying Jaws at the movie theaters. They do it usually every year for 4th of July, but especially now since it's the 50th anniversary.
Yeah.
Did you know that 3 people died fucking that shark bucket?
Was the blood loss?
Yeah, blood loss
It chomped
to
down.
the penis.
It chopped down.
You know those shark buckets that they
Yeah.
have there? 3 men died.
5 men put their penis in a shark bucket. Only 2 come out.
See, that's a movie I'd watch.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Here's something I think kind of fun little fact. The Orca was the name of the boat. Mm-hmm. And the assumption was like, oh, Quint is a shark hunter and knows the only known predator of a great white is an orca. These orcas are like the apex predator out there in the water.
Well, the orca got its shit rocked by the shark.
I know. Well, it was teeny tiny boat. It's the little boat.
Are sharks, this might be a dumb question, but are sharks actually that big? Can they be that big?
I'm curious what the largest great white on record would be. I mean, I've seen like enough like of Shark Weeks or National Geographics. Those things are big.
Like how
like
big?
A 20-footer. 20 feet's a lot of shark. It's like that is like a 3-ton thing.
That don't seem too big. 20 feet biggest ever. That don't seem too big.
That's a 20-foot shark, and you're out there in the water. You're trying to say you're a little skinny man, little skinny minnow. Try and talk down to that poor shark.
I'm over here picturing. I guess I'm picturing whale size.
You picture like a megalodon.
Sure.
Like that's the big shark they made with the Jason Statham.
Maybe, honestly.
Because that's like a prehistoric shark, and like they did exist, but they've been dead forever.
See, that's the
a
kind
whale.
of shark that scares me.
That's a whale-sized shark.
Yeah.
But they're all dead.
I'm
going to take down that big shark. I'm going to get in the water. I'm going to give it a good punch.
You should be him for Halloween.
You get a bald cap.
Yeah. Yeah, so my bad for falling asleep. I just wasn't crazy about it.
The nation's dads are furious right now. They're all yelling at this podcast.
It wasn't really grabbing my attention.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, and honestly, maybe my brain is just rotted, but I was just like, there's no hot people to look at.
Oh, that's because you never got to see Roy Schneider in The Running Man when he played a spy. The main guy, the sheriff, would you know he's actually really shredded?
I could see, he's also a butterface. A lot of butterfaces in this film.
Yeah, I guess he's not the most handsome man. But that feels real, though. Like, I liked when movies kind of cast that way, where people are kind of like people looking. I don't like the CW show people.
Sure, and I get that, and I understand that.
I guess I feel like your version, like Jaws, is like it's set in a college town during the summer, so like there's an excuse for a bunch of hot people to be around.
Yeah.
And they accidentally go on a boat and run over a shark.
Yeah.
And then they start dying one by one.
The shark comes for vengeance.
Yeah, like it's I Know What You Did Last Summer meets Jaws.
I know what
you swam last summer.
I know what you swam last summer.
I know where you swam last summer.
You know what? I feel bad for sharks. And you know why I feel bad for sharks? Because one time someone told me that I have dead shark eyes.
And you don't. And also
kind of.
And also sharks, don't really do anything wrong. It's an irrational fear.
Yeah, and I didn't do anything wrong for him to say that I had dead shark eyes.
Interestingly enough, the author Peter Hinchley, he he like really loved the ocean and wrote several like ocean themed books. and really felt kind of guilty over Jaws because it led to that fear.
Yes, and then everyone started killing poor sharks.
Killing sharks unnecessarily. And he devoted his life to like promoting conservation and protecting sharks, which I thought was like a nice kind of turn for him.
Yeah. A little too late, if you ask me.
I mean, yeah, we go back in time. We had to like kill Peter Hinchley for making, and then he never writes the book.
Okay, do you want to know what I said when that man said I had dead shark eyes?
Sure.
I said, yeah, that's why your dad calls me Jaws.
Mm-hmm.
You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'd be sucking off his dad.
Because she's like a popcorn bucket.
I go popcorn bucket mode while I'm sucking off your dad.
She puts a bunch of popcorn in her mouth.
Glue it to my face.
Yeah.
And I'd be sucking. Okay, what do you give the movie overall, since, you're the one who loves it, who's obsessed with it?
Yeah, I'm going to kiss it. I want to marry it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like hard now because it's a movie that you can trace so much of it through like modern cinema, and it's like I wonder, it's like you hear about these movies like certain like people older than us really love, and you like go back and watch them. It's like I get why they really were blown away by it, and maybe we're just not because we're just used to a different style of filmmaking.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I still had a really great time watching it. I think it's a damn near perfect movie, but I can see your argument. Like maybe why it didn't resonate with you.
Because there wasn't enough girl sharks.
There wasn't enough girl sharks and not enough hotties.
And that's all a girl really wants.
And also like again a girly thing is like creature fucking or like monster fucking. Mm-hmm. Women do be loving that.
Men, when I hear you talk shit being like, I don't know what women want. What women want is to see someone fucking a shark.
They want to get rawed by Bigfoot.
I didn't say Bigfoot. I said a shark.
I just picked another famous monster.
Well, I don't care because that's wrong. See, men are already fucking it up. You could tell a man point blank exactly what they want, and they're still gonna fuck it up. You notice that, ladies? Ladies, pop off on the comments.
Yeah.
Pop off on the comments.
Tell us what monster you want to fuck.
These damn men, they don't even here. Come here, listen to me. These damn men, they don't even listen to us. Okay, it's us against them. Okay, we're gonna get a few shark allies. And we're going to kill them all. You didn't hear that?
Yeah. So I would give it 4 boats and 1 boat bit in half.
Okay. That's pretty good. I would give it 3 butterfaces.
And what does that translate to Adri tomatoes?
Adri tomatoes, like... I'll give it the year it came out, 75%.
So the fish is still fresh.
It's fresh enough.
Adri, it's not smelly. It's not, the fish is not stinky yet.
No, not yet. But it's getting there.
You need to eat it soon.
I can appreciate the beauty of it and the cultural impact that it made on cinema, because I know a lot of film buffs have studied this movie.
Yeah,
and we're probably butchering all the facts and like.
They're so mad right now.
They're so pissed. They're like, "Who are these fucks talking about this movie?"
You thought they didn't like women before. You thought they had a problem with girls before. Wait till they get this one.
Guess what? You're about to hate them now. But yeah, I just didn't really hold my attention like I would have liked it, and I don't know what would have changed that.
We have to write. We have the female Ghostbusters Jaws.
Dun 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 dun.
I would actually really like to see that.
Female Jaws.
Female Jaws.
Ladies, let's make a female Jaws.
Because it would piss off so many men.
Oh, so many men.
I mean, they got mad about the fucking Ghostbusters movie. And only one of those 2 movies is good. I'll say it. The first one is very good. The second one, the second one's bad. It's not worth like getting your panties in a twist over. And we know these men are wearing panties.
Panties. Pantaloons. All right. I'm going to go drink some beer and talk about the female experience with my girlies on this 4th of July. Okay? So I'm out.
And I see the sun is setting, and so I'm going to get drunk, take my clothes off, and I'm going to go swim and hope nothing bad happens.
Hope nothing bad happens.
Surely it won't.
Surely it won't.
All right.
So we'll see if we see him next week on Terror Tales of LA, the podcast. I'm your host, Adri Diaz.
And I'm Quentin Ridings.
Ew. Okay, bye.
Bye.